welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Tuesday, which means it's time for Magic News. This is the programme every single Tuesday where I come up to you and I tell you about what's going on in the Magic community. And we've got a few things to talk about this week. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. Even though it's only a couple of weeks till Christmas, there's a ton of stuff we are going to be talking about. So without further ado, let's get into this week's Magic News. Okay, so the first interesting thing that's happening this week is this Vanishing Ink. The team at Vanishing Ink have put out an email announcing for the first time ever that the Session Magic Convention is going to be live streamed, and you can buy a virtual ticket to the convention, and the ticket will cost £71. So if you don't want to go and actually visit the session in person, you don't want to actually rock up and pay 55 quid for a pint of beer and £5,000 for a room, you can indeed access the whole thing virtually. Now, there's a few provisions. The first provision is the only thing that the Vanishing Ink team are going to be live streaming is the actual sort of main theatre. So the breakout rooms, the workshops, Luke Jamay's show, none of that is actually going to be live streamed. It's just the stuff that's taking place in the theatres. And it's going to be accessible for 7 days. So if you don't want to, if you live in another part of the world and you don't want to be staying up until the middle of the night to watch the Session Magic Convention live, then you don't have to, because you've got 7 days to watch everything. A few people are talking about this online, and there's some chatter. A lot of people are saying it's a great idea, but a lot of people are saying that the reason that Vanishing Ink are doing this is because ticket sales are quite poor this year. Now, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's not the case. I have no idea. I know I was at the session last year and a few people were moaning about the quality of the session last year and how it's kind of moved away from what it was originally intended. You know, if you remember the very first sessions in Gloucester, it was very much a session vibe. You know, everybody was hanging out in the bar, chatting, talking, and that was what the session was all about. And over the course of the last few years, it's become more commercialized. It's kind of not that as much anymore. You still have people hanging out in the bar, but I remember at the session last year, there was a big period of time where I was just not interested in anything that was going on. And because there's only dealers on the final day, unless you count the Vanishing Ink booth, it means there's very little to do other than sit around in the bar. Add to the fact that it's in central London. Well, not central London, but just outside of London, which means that the prices are very, very expensive. And, you know, I think I paid for me and Matt and Ryland to go last year, and with hotel fees and with food and drink and everything, it must have come to about £3,500, something like that. And it's one of the deciding factors why I've decided not to go again this year. And a lot of people are saying, hey, the Session Convention is struggling this year in terms of ticket sales. That's where they're live streaming it. I don't know if that's the case or not. I do think it's a weird decision. You know, the Vanishing Ink run the session and they run Magifest. Why aren't they doing this with Magifest? Why are they just doing it with the session? I also think the whole thing of the session is it's meant to be a session vibe. That's why it's called the session. It's meant to be a session vibe. It's meant to be people sitting around, chatting, talking to each other. You don't get that from a live stream. You don't get that virtually. You can't virtually session with people, really. So I don't know. I don't know how many people will buy a ticket to see a virtual session. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe somebody who was intending to go maybe isn't going to, or maybe somebody, you know, I wasn't really intending to go this year. Doesn't really appeal to me. It doesn't make me go, oh, well, I can get a virtual ticket and that's as good as going. That doesn't really appeal to me. Because to be honest, if you're watching a virtual Magic convention and you're just watching the bits in the theatre, effectively, you're going to see lectures. I've got a million lectures coming out of my arse. I've got masterclasses, I've got academies, I've got Penguin Lives, I've got a million sort of lectures that I can watch at any point that I want to, that have been shot to be a lecture, that are probably set up better than a live stream convention. So I don't know how well it's going to do. Maybe it'll do really well. Maybe it won't. Let me know down below. Are you going to the session this year? And if you are, or if you're not, more importantly, are you now intending to go to a virtual session? Do you think that is something that's a good idea? Let me know. Okay, so this happened shortly before last week's Magic News, but I missed it. So I'm going to bring it to your attention this week. This is kind of an interesting topic that's worth talking about. And this happened on Twitch. Twitch is kind of a streaming platform. One of the big names on there is a guy called Kai Cenat. Now, I don't really use Twitch. I'm aware of it. I've seen it. It's not really something that I use. But Kai Cenat is a big name on Twitch. And he was running a subathon, which is like streaming live for 30 days. He calls it the Mafiathon 2. And over the course of those 30 days, he was streaming live. And he invited Max Major onto his stream. Now, Max Major is a magician, as you know, that's gained some notoriety in the world over the last few years. And I believe that Kai has had Max Major on the show before. And Max basically appeared on the show. Apparently, Kai wasn't aware of what Max was doing. Max just said that he's going to rock the internet. And Max did a sort of hook, smash and stab style presentation. You know, hey, you're going to pick the right string, else you're going to ruin my mouth, or whatever it may be. But he did it with a noose. So he had a rope tied around his neck, and Kai had to pick the right rope. And the whole idea of the trick is that, Max survives. But what happened is on the stream, apparently Kai picked the wrong rope, and Max ended up hanging live on a live stream. Kai was completely freaked out. He didn't know what was going on. He cut the live stream. You could see he was visibly upset. I've watched the footage of this. And then the stream came on a little while later. He was looking for Max and his team. There was a lot of craziness, a lot of not knowing what was going on. And then Max Major posted a video on his YouTube channel, which you can go and see if you check out Max Major's YouTube channel, which was shot before the event. And it's a 1 minute, 20-second video talking about how he controls everything. You think what you think because he wants you to think that way. You see what you see because he wants you to see that. And that he manipulated the whole event right from the very, very beginning. And he's not as dead as people think. The backlash for this has been crazy. Kai was worried that he would be banned and his account would be taken offline because of what happened. Max Major is taking no accountability for anything at all. And, there's been a lot of backlash on Kai. There's a lot of people that are saying, hey, how can you allow this to happen? How can he allow, there should never be in a situation where somebody's streaming and someone's putting a rope around their neck. And other people are jumping to Kai's defense and saying, well, it looks like he was blindsided here. It wasn't necessarily his fault. But unanimously, if you go and look at the video on Max Major's YouTube channel, I have never seen so much YouTube hate in my life. Like every single person posting on there is saying, you've ruined your career, this is ridiculous, what are you doing? And it's blown up. Even a week later, people are still talking about this. Even a week later, people are still assigning blame and saying who's to fault, who's not to fault. It's an interesting situation. I think that Max has screwed up, frankly, I do. I don't think in this day and age, I used to do the gallows, which was a trick that Mark Shortland put out. And it was put out by World Magic Shop. And it was a book test where you did a live gallows type thing. So, you had a gallows set up and you would be on a chair and you put a noose around your neck and so on and so forth. And the finale is that you got the book test right, but then you walked off the gallows and the rope didn't hang you because it was just kind of magnetically attached there, and kind of the end line is, what, are you kidding me? And it's a very funny bit. You watch Mark Shortland do it and it's amazing. I stopped doing it, and the reason I stopped doing it is because in more than one event I went to, people were coming up to me afterwards and they were saying, loved your show, I thought that was inappropriate. I've got a friend that's hanged himself. And I was thinking, well, if somebody's coming up to me in more than one event and saying that, how many people are thinking it? And it's not worth it for just one gag, which in essence the gallows is. And I think that there's certain things, there's certain images that can really trigger people for good reason. And this is something that can really trigger people. I don't think he made the right decision by having even... I think the decision of doing that sort of trick using a noose was a wrong decision. And I think that the way he planned it, I know what he was doing. He was all about publicity. You know, Paul Daniels has done sort of that sort of thing in the past. I remember many, many years ago, many years, when I was a kid watching Paul Daniels, and it was a Halloween special, and he was trying to get out of a spiked sarcophagus before it shut or something like that. My memory is foggy on this, but I remember the program going off the air, and apparently Paul Daniels had died. You know, I remember that, and it was only afterwards that we found out that he hadn't, and it was all a stunt. And yeah, I think it works in certain scenarios, but on a Twitch stream, definitely doesn't work, as you can see from the backlash, especially with a noose around your neck. But if you were going to do that, I think you would definitely need to get the permission of the person who's running the Twitch stream first. I don't think you can blindside somebody like that. I don't think you can just go, hey, I'm going to do something really, really cool, and it's going to break the internet. I think it's great, and then just throw that on the person, because honestly, Kai is right. He could have been banned for something like that. And I think that what Max Major should be doing at this point is coming out and making a full apology and saying, look, I'm really sorry. It was something that was designed for entertainment. I thought it would be entertaining. It's not. I'm really sorry. You know, but as far as I'm aware, I haven't seen an apology come forward from him. Kai, on the other hand, although in many ways blameless, because I don't think he knew what was going on at all, I think he should have kind of been made aware. I think he should have said, look, I'm not going to say anything, but I need to know what's going on here. This is my livelihood. This is what I do for a living. I can't just have somebody come on and just go into business for themselves. That's not something that can happen. So I think there's blame to go all the way around here. But I mean, I think as a community as a whole, what we can learn from this is we can learn that, you know, there's that old thing, isn't it? Any publicity is good publicity. I don't think that's the case here. Eric Bischoff, you guys know I'm a wrestling fan, would say controversy creates cash. And you could say that controversial stuff like this will ultimately end up helping, not hindering. And in many ways, maybe you're right. But I don't think that this was a smart idea at all. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Okay, let's talk about some stuff that's coming out in the Magic community this week. The first thing I've got to talk about is Focus. Focus is by me and Phil Smith, and it is, in my opinion, the ultimate marked deck. It's coming out on Friday. Trailer's going to drop soon, and it's basically a marked deck all based around movies. So you get 26 movie posters, you get 26 movie quote cards, and the quote cards have the mother of all book tests organically built into them. That's right, they've organically got the mother of all book tests built into them. They're real quotes from real films, and the Moab system is built into them. But beyond all of that, what's amazing about this deck is everything that it can do. There is so much that it can do. I don't know if I'll do another marked deck again. I don't know if I will. I think this might be my swan song. We'll see. There's no plans really for anything else. But if this is the swan song, I've gone out with the best one last. The stuff that you can do with the Ghostbusters card is ridiculous. I've built it from the ground up for magicians and for mentalists. And with a lot of the stuff I've done with Phil before, the focus has been on the marking system. That's not the case here. The case is what you can do with this deck. It's very, very relatable. I'm going to be talking more about this in the coming days. But if you've got any questions about Focus, let me know. I do think it's probably the best. I'm doing a video later on this year about the best tricks that I've bought out in 2024, and I'm just putting that list together. I think that Focus might top the list, I really do. And I think when you see the trailer and you see the product, I think you might agree with me. But there you go, Focus is coming out on Friday, and it's awesome. Okay, another trick that's just recently come out that might have flown under people's radar is Time to Travel from Juan Pablo. Now, Time to Travel by Juan Pablo. If you don't know Juan Pablo, he's bought out a ton of stuff over the years. Some good, some not so good. The last thing he bought out was Mr. Glove. That was incredible. Really love that. This is a very interesting confabulation style routine that takes a very different approach to the plot. Now, I don't have it, I am planning on reviewing it, but the trailer is very honest. I think you can kind of see, if you've got some experience, exactly how this works. What's really cool about this is the spectator apparently has a free choice of a country, and off the back of choosing that country, they choose an airline, they choose a seat number, and the envelope that was given out at the very beginning kind of predicts everything in a confabulation style routine. The trailer, as I say, makes it very obvious as to what's going on, but I'm very on board with the method. I think the method, if it's what I'm assuming it is exceptional. When I watched it, I was like, yeah, I could see myself doing this. I could see myself doing this in a parlor situation, and I could see this working in a big table type situation as well. Very big fan of this, if it works the way I think it will, which we'll find out when I get my package and I get my order from Penguin. But Time to Travel by Juan Pablo, go check out the trailer. If you like confabulation style routines, it's a very different approach to a confabulation. Another one that's just come out is The Mirror by Dominic Duvivier. Now, The Mirror, well, first of all, Dominic Duvivier is one of my favourite magicians of all time. His book is something I go back to again and again and again, and he's created so many wonderful routines over the years. If you haven't studied Dominic Duvivier's work, please do so. Again, this is another one that I haven't got yet, but I have watched the trailer, and it's just a super commercial card routine. It's multi-phase, and you know what? It reminds me a bit of an ambitious card in the box, card to pocket, that sort of thing. And the reason that those routines are so commercial, the reason why those routines are done by so many people in the real world, is because that multi-phase aspect. It means that there's a lot going on, and it's very clear for the audience to follow. And that's what's happening in this trick. If you go and watch the trick, you see a very, very clear performance of Dominic and his daughter basically performing the routine. You see it being done in front of a live audience, you see their reactions, and you see what's happening. Basically, somebody's going to pick a card, it's turning face up, it's turning face up again, it's turning face up again, it's mirroring itself onto the backs of cards. You keep putting the card away, it keeps coming back to the deck, you keep putting it away, it keeps coming back to the deck, and as a finale, all of the cards change into a different card, and everything's examinable at the end. I could see this being very, very commercial. Some of Dominic's stuff isn't as commercial. It's very, very clever. He has a lot of commercial magic, but some of it's more not as commercial as others. This, from the trailer, looks to be a very commercial piece, and definitely fits into the sort of magic that I like performing in the real world. So it's called The Mirror. Go check it out. It's available now. And you can go check out the trailer and see exactly what it's like. Okay, so there's been talking about new products. Last week, over the course of Magic Black Friday, Joshua J brought out the Particle System. And the Particle System is his work on the memorized deck. It's a book all about his work on the memorized deck, but it's his own stack that you can learn apparently a lot quicker than other stacks. And it is causing a little bit of controversy. The Jerks is talking about it. You know, when the Jerk starts talking about something, it's kind of a hot topic in the Magic world. Also, it's got a big thread on the Magic Cafe, people going back and forth. And there's two camps. Those are pro the particle system and those are against the particle system. Basically, what people are saying is, with Josh's new particle system memorized deck, it's basically a way of doing a memorized deck. If you spread the cards out on the table, you can tell there's a stack there. So you can't really spread the cards out on the table and let them look at it for more than a couple of seconds, because they are going to see there's an order to those cards. And some people are saying, well, that's not very good, because even if the deck is easier to read, if you can't spread the deck face up, then it eliminates some stuff that you can actually use a memorized deck for. Others are saying that all the routines that Josh uses it for, the deck is face down. Very rarely are you spreading a memorized deck face up, so it's totally not an issue. And then others are saying, yeah, but if you learn Mnemonica, for example, that's a memorized deck, so is Aronson, so is Redford, but that looks like an absolutely mixed up deck. You can spread the cards out, have them look at it forever, and they won't see any discernible pattern. I'm kind of understand both sides. I'm not going to change the moniker, I'll be honest with you. I spent a long time learning it. It's ingrained in my head now. I'm not going to learn another system just because it's apparently an easier system to learn. If I was going to learn another system, I'd learn Redford, which allows me to get into Stebbins from stack very, very easily. But I do think that the ability to spread a deck of cards face up is good. I do agree that a lot of the time you don't need to with a memorized deck. I do agree that a lot of the time the deck is face down, which is the whole point of a memorized deck. But having the deck face up and being able to spread it out face up absolutely, definitely is something that I like. And not being able to spread the deck face up for any length of time, I think is a drawback. Is it a deal breaker? Does it mean the product's terrible? No. And I think that whatever your opinion, you're right. If you think, hey, I don't like the idea that a deck of cards can be seen to be stacked, I'm not going to use that. If that's your opinion, you're correct. If your opinion is, it makes no difference, it's much easier to learn this way, and I'm going to keep the deck face down anyway, so it's not important, then yeah, that's right as well. It's totally up to you. For me, I'm not going to change the moniker, but if I was looking for a stacked deck to learn right now, I'd probably go for the moniker and not particle system or some other memorized deck, because I do think if you're going to spend time learning something, unless there's some massive advantages to learning the particle system, which I haven't got it, so I don't know, I'm just hypothesizing at this point, but unless there's some major advantages with the particle system that I don't know, purely on face value, based on the look of the deck when spread out, I'd rather have a deck that I can spread out face up and let people see it's mixed. That's just my opinion, but the Magic community, as normal, as with every subject that comes up these days, is split. Mark 17th of December in your calendars, because that's the Alakazam Christmas party. That's right, the Alakazam Christmas party is taking place on the 17th of December, and everybody and their mother are very, very excited. They're excited because there's going to be special guests, there's going to be tricks. I am teaching a brand new unpublished card trick, which is an incredible card trick, even though I say so myself. But you've got people like Nicholas Mavresis that are going to be there. You've got some amazing names in the Magic community that are going to be part of this. And Harry and Peter and Jamie are going to be giving away a metric ton of prizes. So if you're looking for an online Christmas event like no other that's free, then go check out the Alakazam Christmas party. It's going to be live streamed on Facebook. It's going to be live streamed on YouTube and probably every other platform that Alakazam are on. So, Alakazam Christmas party, 17th of December. Okay, by the time you watch this, this will have happened, but it's worth noting that Alakazam, talking about Alakazam, are having another live launch. Sunday just gone, they had a live launch of the Bag Reborn. By the way, thanks everyone for picking that up. I really appreciate it. But today at 7 p.m, Tuesday, the 10th at 7 p.m, they are launching Tribloon, which is the 5th in the Elite coin range lineup. What is Tribloon? Well, Tribloon is a coin set using American half dollars and Chinese coins. And Eric has two wonderful routines with this set that are very, very commercial, that are designed to be done stand up without a table, that allow you to apparently make silver coins appear, change them at the fingertips into Chinese coins, do so much stuff. You need to watch Eric perform it. It's great. On the project, I've also got, I think, about 17 or 18 routines showing you the real power behind Tribloon. I'm not going to say much about it right now because obviously I am biased. What I will tell you is that the Tribloon set is very, very good, and it's available as of you watching this video now because it got launched at 7 p.m. So that's Tribloon by Eric Stevens. It's a very, very good addition to the Elite coin range from Alakazam, and if you haven't already done so, pick up the bag. Can't believe Alakazam are doing it for just £45. The Bag Reborn, that got launched on Sunday. So a couple of big coin items that have been bought out by Alakazam in the last week. Okay, next up, we need to talk about the Alon Magic Society. Now, as you guys know, I have been a big supporter of the Alon Magic Society since time began. The Alon Magic Society, which was founded and set up by Magic Alon and is run by some of the biggest and brightest names in Magic, is a magic society online, and they organise free lectures, they organise just a ton of stuff. Alon and his team are amazing, and the community he's built is brilliant. Well, they are going to be holding their first annual awards, their awards dinner. I don't know, they're going to be holding their first annual awards ceremony live online on the 20th of December. Now, they're going to be giving out an absolute ton of awards. They've got awards for a bunch of stuff, including the Harry Merlin Piper Award for Online Young Magician of the Year. They're going to be giving out a ton of awards for Creator of the Year, Trick of the Year, Lecturer of the Year. There's a lot of stuff that they are going to be talking about. So it's going to be amazing. Anything that Alon touches turns to gold. They have the support of some of the biggest names in Magic. They've got Vanishing Ink on their side. They've got Murphy's Magic on their side. They've got Penguin Magic on their side. During the course of the evening, there's going to be top acts, special guests, and they're giving away $1,000 of prizes which have been donated by various different magic shops. Alon does not mess about when he decides to do something. It's kind of all or nothing, and this is brilliant. So 20th of December, I'm absolutely going to be there. It's going to be very, very exciting. It is the first annual Magic Alon Awards ceremony. If you're not a member of the Alon community, you really should be. And this promises to be the event of the year. And I can't believe how much they're giving away, and I can't believe how much support they've got. But it is truly deserved, because that young man works harder than anybody else I know in Magic. So, 20th of December, the Magic Alon Awards ceremony. Be there. Okay, so the final thing that's happening in the Magic world today is a little bit of news. Assuming that he doesn't, walk past a field and get distracted by a bunch of sheep, Lloyd Barnes and myself are going to be filming a Magic Podcast Christmas special. Lloyd has been very busy. We haven't done an episode for about 6 months. We've both wanted to, but I've been very busy. Lloyd has been ridiculously busy. If you've been following Lloyd's YouTube channel, he's very busy at work with Murphy's, but he's also very busy renovating a house with him and Kaylee. He's created a separate YouTube channel just to document that. And, his family is continuing to grow. He's been very busy, but we've both talked that in 2025, we want to bring the Magic Podcast back. It is not dead. Rumours about our demise have been gratefully exaggerated. But we are planning a Christmas special where we talk all about this. So make sure you watch the Magic Podcast socials. Make sure you keep an eye on my socials, because we are definitely coming back. And a Christmas episode is in the works. In fact, it might be filmed today. Possibly. I don't know. I need to call Lloyd. So check out that. If you're a fan of the Magic Podcast, if you're a fan of me and Lloyd talking about sheep and swearing and shouting and just being completely inappropriate, then you will be glad to know that the Magic Podcast is back. Watch this space. So there you go, guys. That is another Magic news in the bag. Let me know what you think of all the news tidbits down below. And don't forget, it's happening every Tuesday. So next Tuesday, there will be another Magic news. Now, don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I will be back again tomorrow with Ryland the Kid Magician with a review show. Then on Thursday, Friday, we've got a couple of cool videos coming up. And then on Saturday, I will be back with a super awesome Talk Magic. There's a lot happening on Magic TV this week, and I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your continued support. But with that being said, have a great day. I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig, and this is Magic TV.